Hello everyone and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're going to play a game.
That's right, today we're going to describe someone's face, so we're going to try to guess who that person is.
Okay, so there are lots of really great words to describe people's faces in this lesson. Let's take a listen to today's dialogue, and we'll be back in a moment to talk about what's going on.
Let's play a game.
Okay, how about Scrabble?
No. A friend of mine taught me this really fun game. I'm going to describe someone's face, and you guess who it is.
Okay.
Let's see. He has a Roman nose, bushy eyebrows, and dimples.
Our cousin Pete. My turn. She has a pointy nose, sunken eyes, and a mole on her chin.
Aunt Rose. That mole is so huge. Okay, my turn. He has a crooked nose and full lips. He has quite a few freckles and an oval face. Oh, he's also bald.
Your future husband.
Not funny.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at 5 key words that we have to describe someone's face on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
So we've got a couple words for noses here. They're adjectives to describe noses. The first one that we heard is Roman nose.
Okay, so if someone has a Roman nose, does that mean they're from Rome?
No, not quite. Well, Rome, as we know, is a city in Italy, but it's also an adjective here. Roman means that the nose is straight on top. It's like a triangle.
Okay, but it's kind of long. You have kind of a long, straight nose, right?
That's right. A very long, straight nose.
Okay, so we have a Roman nose, somebody that has a long, straight nose. Now, what about a pointy nose?
A pointy nose means that the tip of the nose is pointy. So maybe it goes up a little bit, goes down and then up. But usually that there's a point on the tip of the nose.
Or sometimes the nose is very thin, right? It's not very wide, so it looks very pointy.
That's right. So it kind of gets very narrow at the end.
That's right. Okay, and now maybe you broke your nose once, or you had an accident, and some people have a crooked nose.
Yeah, a lot of very famous football players have crooked noses because, you know, you get hit in the face with the football and then your nose always has a bump.
Right.
Well, look, something is crooked if it's not straight. So crooked is the opposite of a Roman nose or a straight nose.
That's right. So maybe you see boxers also, I think, have crooked nose, most of them.
Definitely.
Or hockey players and stuff like that.
Yeah, they take a lot of hits to the face.
Okay, so now moving on, we've described noses in many ways. You can say long nose, short nose, or whatever, but this is another way of doing it. And what about eyebrows?
Okay, eyebrows are those lines of hair above your eyes. And some people have really thick eyebrows. Some people have very thin eyebrows. But if someone has thick eyebrows, lots of hair, we call them bushy eyebrows.
Okay, so if you have bushy eyebrows, it means that you have a lot of hair on, as you said, on your eyebrows or over your eye. Okay, and now this is a really, I think, a kind of a nice feature that some people have on their cheeks. We have dimples.
I love dimples. Not many people have them, but these are 2 little dots, little indentations that appear when a person smiles.
That's right. So maybe you've seen this, or maybe you have this, or a friend has this. Somebody smiles, and on their cheeks, towards the middle of the cheek, they have little holes that form that look like, I don't know, like somebody kind of pinched it with a needle.
Yeah,
something.
like it goes down a little bit for some reason. It's like, yeah, they're being pinched inside their cheek.
That's right.
Those are called dimples.
Dimples. Okay, so a lot of great stuff there in the first part. Let's review what we've heard. Let's go back to the dialogue, and we'll be back in a bit.
Let's play a game.
Okay, how about Scrabble?
No. A friend of mine taught me this really fun game. I'm going to describe someone's face, and you guess who it is.
Okay.
Let's see. He has a Roman nose, bushy eyebrows, and dimples.
Our cousin Pete. My turn. She has a pointy nose, sunken eyes, and a mole on her chin.
Aunt Rose, that mole is so huge. Okay, my turn. He has a crooked nose and full lips. He has quite a few freckles and an oval face. Oh, he's also bald.
Your future husband.
Not funny.
All right, we're back. So now we're going to take a look at even more words on how to describe a face. So now let's take a look at language takeaway part 2.
Language takeaway.
Okay, so the first word has to do with the eyes. We just talked about the eyebrows. Those are above your eyes. Well, what happens if your eyes are very, very deep in your face?
Okay, we heard that in the dialogue. We heard that in the dialogue described as sunken eyes.
So sunken means very far back or very deep in something.
That's right.
Think about a sunken ship. It's under the water, under the ocean. So someone with sunken eyes probably has dark rings under their eyes because their eyes are so deep in their head.
That's right. Now, I guess the opposite, maybe you've seen people that have eyes that are almost like popping out a little bit.
Right. His eyes pop out. That means they come out of the face. They're closer to the skin.
That's right. Okay, and now this is something that many people have, and even some models have become famous because of this. Many times called a beauty mark. We're talking about moles.
Cindy Crawford is probably the model you're talking about.
Yes.
She had a very famous mole. A mole is basically a spot on your skin that's very, very dark. So sometimes there's hair on it. Sometimes its texture is different, but it can be big, it can be small, but it's a change of texture on your skin.
That's right. So usually it's like a little brown ball if it's big, and sometimes they just look like little spots on your skin, little dark brown spots.
That's right, but they're not the same as something else we heard in today's dialogue, so we'll wait for that. But a mole usually comes a little bit off the skin, and it's usually bigger than other dots.
That's right. And I think what you're talking about is freckles.
That's right, freckles. A lot of people have these when they're children. They come on your nose and your cheeks and even your arms, and they're smooth with your skin. They don't come off your skin. They're not puffy.
That's right. So I think many of you, maybe if you have lighter skin, may have freckles, and that's usually just little spots, but of just different color on your skin. So usually people that have maybe red hair, they have freckles. Like maybe from the Harry Potter movie, Harry Potter's best friend, I think Ron. You can see he has freckles.
That's right. On his skin, he has lots of little dots because he has very pale skin and red hair. So these are called freckles.
That's right. Okay. And now when we talked about lips, a nice way of describing lips, you can say big lips, but that just means that they're big, right? But what about if that person has full lips?
Full lips is a great way to describe big lips. We would say someone like Angelina Jolie has very full lips.
That's right.
This means that they're not thin, but they've got a lot of puff to them.
They have a lot of texture. As you said, Angelina Jolie is probably the best example of someone with full lips. And now what about bald? Someone who's bald. Who's a good example for this?
Okay, so this next word we've got is bald. Who's a famous bald person?
Maybe you've heard of Kobe Bryant.
That basketball player.
That's right. Now, he's not completely bald. He actually shaves his head. But anyone who shaves their head also, or has no hair on their head, is considered to be a bald person.
All right, so bald means no hair on their head.
Right. Now, sometimes naturally people become bald. Hair falls off as the years go by, and no more hair grows on their head, so they're bald.
That's right. So this happens to a lot of people, especially men. They lose their hair. Some people have a little bit of hair. Some people lose all of their hair. But when you lose hair on your head, it's called going bald.
That's right. Okay, so now we have a lot of words and how we can describe people. And so why don't we go back, listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more.
Let's play a game.
Okay, how about Scrabble?
No. A friend of mine taught me this really fun game. I'm going to describe someone's face, and you guess who it is.
Okay.
Let's see. He has a Roman nose, bushy eyebrows, and dimples.
Our cousin Pete. My turn. She has a pointy nose, sunken eyes, and a mole on her chin.
Aunt Rose. That mole is so huge. Okay, my turn. He has a crooked nose and full lips. He has quite a few freckles and an oval face. Oh, he's also bald.
Your future husband.
Not funny.
So we've talked a lot about the different parts of the face, but we have not talked about one important part. That's the bottom of a person's face along that bone there. What's that part called?
That's called the chin.
Okay, so we could say some people have very, very prominent or big chins, right?
Like, for example, Jay Leno,
Oh, yeah. His chin is so big.
right?
It's almost a joke among people that he has this big chin.
That's right. So he has a long chin. Now, other people may have a very square chin, right?
So it's almost like it looks like a square on the bottom of their face. Otherwise, you could have a round chin.
That's right.
And the opposite part of the face is also very important. We call it not the top of your head, but we call it your forehead.
Your forehead. Now, some people have a very big forehead, right? Because maybe their hair grows a little bit further back, and other people have smaller foreheads that you almost can't even really see.
Or sometimes they just hide it with their hair.
That's right. And now, actually, talking about chins, there's another type of chin that's also very popular. John Travolta's chin.
That is, he has a dimple in his chin.
That's right.
I remember we were talking about dimples, those little holes. Well, you can have them in other places, and the chin is one of them.
That's right. So I think that's called a butt chin, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I'm not even going to ask. I've heard it before. I'm not sure how to answer you, but yeah.
All right.
But maybe this is a good time to encourage you all to tell us about your facial features or to describe someone for us. Use some of the vocabulary that you heard today.
That's right. Or maybe you even just want to describe someone famous and we can guess who you're talking about.
Good challenge. So we will see you on our website, englishpod.com.
All right. We'll see you guys there.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A small, natural indentation in the flesh. Dimple. A small, dark brown spot on a person's skin. Mole. A small, brownish spot on someone's skin. Freckle. Having the shape of an egg. Oval.
Let's try that faster.
A small, dark brown spot on a person's skin. Mole. Having the shape of an egg. Oval. A small, natural indentation in the flesh. Dimple. A small, brownish spot on someone's skin. Freckle.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Oval. Your baby has the cutest little dimples on her face. Oval. I like to make her smile because I can see her dimples. Oval. I heard some actresses have dimples surgically put on their face. Mole. She has the biggest mole on her nose. Mole. You should have that mole checked out by a doctor. Mole. I think that little mole above your lip is beautiful. Dimple. Most redheads have lots of freckles on their face. Dimple. Sometimes I wish I had freckles because I think they are fun. Dimple. I wonder what it would look like if I connected all the freckles on your face with a pen. Oval. Some people think an American football is shaped like an oval. Oval. Her face is long, almost like an oval. Oval. Miss Smith, what is the difference between a circle and an oval?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine. So, Marco, today we're talking about rent and housing.
Right, we're actually going to be moving. We're going to be going to a new apartment or a new house. And so we're going to look at all the words related to this because sometimes it can be a real hassle, right? It can be really difficult.
Absolutely. Well, you love moving, right? You were telling me how much you love moving your stuff and negotiating a new lease.
Well, I like the negotiation of the lease, but not the moving aspect.
No, I don't think anyone likes moving.
Actually, I do like it at times because then you can just throw away so many things that you have no need for and you wouldn't throw away unless you moved.
So let's go check out today's dialogue to find out what happens to the characters.
Okay, that's fine. Bye.
What happened?
That's it. My lease is up. I have to move.
What? Why? Can't you renew it?
The owner apparently is selling this place to make way for the construction of a parking lot.
Well, I can help you pack. We should start looking for a new place for you ASAP.
I think I might move in with my parents for a couple of months until I can find something. You know how hard it is to find a decent place around here. I'm gonna have to put most of my stuff in storage for a while.
Well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help out.
Actually, would you mind looking after my pet tarantula and snake for a couple of weeks?
Sure.
All right, we're back. So, well, it's not much of a big deal. I guess if you have your parents nearby, you can just move back in with your parents.
Easier said than done.
True. We'll get to that in a little bit, but let's take a look at the words that are used today in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so this first one is an important one because generally when you're looking for a house or an apartment, there are two things you can do. You can buy a house or you can lease a house or apartment. Mm-hmm. So lease here, Marco.
It's basically to rent, right? Mm-hmm. It's a contract where you agree to pay a monthly or a quarterly fee for using that house or apartment.
So do you own your apartment or do you lease it?
No, mine, I lease. I am not a home owner yet.
Right. So owning a home is a lot more expensive at one kind of period where you have to just pay in and you have maybe a mortgage. But leasing is just a monthly fee, like you said.
So in this case, they had to leave because their lease was expired.
Exactly. So you can, at the end of a lease, do one of two things. You can stop and you can find a new apartment, or you can renew your lease.
All right, and that's our next word. To renew your lease basically means to
continue.
To continue.
And this is actually a good word because it can be used with any contract, because really a lease is a kind of contract. And so I can say, I renewed my job contract.
Or maybe a magazine subscription.
Yeah,
You
so-
renewed your magazine subscription.
It's a way of saying that you've committed to paying for the next 6 months or 1 year.
Okay. Well, and after that, as we said, the person decided to move in with the parents. So move in.
Move in, well, we can say he moved his car. He put it in a different place. But to move in is actually to change houses or to change apartments. And you're literally moving your things in, you're moving your clothes in, you're moving into a new home. So you're living in a new place.
So in this case, this person is going to live with the parents. Move in. All right. And our next word is when you have to move, you have to pack.
Okay, so you can pack a lot of things. In this case, you're packing a box with all of your belongings, your books and your pillows and all that. But you can also pack a suitcase, or you can pack luggage. So packing is putting things into something so that you can move them.
So you can carry them or take them somewhere.
Exactly.
So in this case, you have to pack your things, put them in boxes to take them to your new home. And our last word is an acronym when you said ASAP.
All right, snap. Come on, ASAP, Marco.
ASAP.
Describe this for us quickly.
All right. So ASAP is an acronym for as soon as possible.
Okay, so you often see this in the office on envelopes or emails.
Right.
So please respond ASAP, ASAP. This means please respond right away.
As soon as you can, as soon as possible. All right, so 5 great words that we've just taken a look at. Let's listen to our dialogue again, and we'll be right back.
Okay, that's fine. Bye.
What happened?
That's it. My lease is up. I have to move.
What? Why? Can't you renew it?
The owner apparently is selling this place to make way for the construction of a parking lot.
Well, I can help you pack. We should start looking for a new place for you ASAP.
I think I might move in with my parents for a couple of months until I can find something. You know how hard it is to find a decent place around here. I'm going to have to put most of my stuff in storage for a while.
Well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help out.
Actually, would you mind looking after my pet tarantula and snake for a couple of weeks?
Sure.
All right, we're back, and we have a couple of different phrases for you. So let's look at those now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Our first one's a little bit unusual. We heard the phrase, my lease is up. So, Marco, let's talk about this phrase, to be up.
All right, so if something is up, as in this case, the lease, it means it's expired, it's finished, right?
So it's over.
It's over.
You can also say, our time is up.
Right.
If we have a meeting. So that's all the time I have. Time to go away.
Time is up. Very good. So it's always related to time or maybe a contract, as in this case, or your lease is up.
So it means over or finished.
All right, so moving on to our second phrase.
To make way for. All right, so this is a great one. This often makes me think of kings and queens in the old days. They say, make way for the king. So you have to
Get out of the way.
Yeah, get out of the way, or to clear some space for them to move because there's too much stuff in the way. And so in this case, the owner of the apartment where the guy was living in is trying to make some space or make way for a parking lot.
Right, so he's basically going to sell the building or house and build a parking lot instead. So they are making way for the new parking lot.
They're clearing space. And this is actually really sad because my childhood home, they destroyed to make way for a larger, ugly, big
Building?
house. Yeah.
Really? See, it happens all the time. Now they're making way for malls and big buildings, and all of our little houses are destroyed. And, well, moving on to our last phrase, the person asked the friend if he would mind looking after the pet snake and tarantula.
I would mind.
You don't like snakes or tarantulas?
Well, I don't mind them as long as I don't live with them.
So would you mind? This is a nice way to start a sentence if you want to ask for a favor, right?
Exactly. So here's an alternative. Hey, Marco, can you do this for me?
I could, maybe.
I could say, Marco, would you mind doing this for me?
It's more polite.
It is more polite and it's a little bit gentler. Yeah.
So it's nice. It's a nice way of asking someone for a favor.
Exactly. And that's why this is funny, because the favor is not like, would you mind watching my kitty? The favor is, would you mind watching my poisonous pets?
Right. All right. So would you mind it? But in the end, the person agreed. So it works, right?
It does work. So would you mind, so listeners, would you mind listening to today's dialogue one more time at its normal speed before we come back to you and talk more about renting an apartment?
Okay, that's fine. Bye.
What happened?
That's it. My lease is up. I have to move.
What? Why? Can't you renew it?
The owner apparently is selling this place to make way for the construction of a parking lot.
Well, I can help you pack. We should start looking for a new place for you ASAP.
I think I might move in with my parents for a couple of months until I can find something. You know how hard it is to find a decent place around here. I'm gonna have to put most of my stuff in storage for a while.
Well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help out.
Actually, would you mind looking after my pet tarantula and snake for a couple of weeks?
Sure.
All right, so moving in now, you have different stages in your life, right? When you move out, for example, you move out of your parents' home and you live on your own. And then maybe, like in this case, you would move back in with your parents. How do you see that happening?
I see it very often. My brother just moved back in with my parents.
Really?
Yeah, I think that it depends on the person, honestly. I mean, especially because the economy has really been suffering for the last year. A lot of people are doing this because, you know, in a lot of cities in America, you can spend $1,000 to $2,000 a month for an apartment to rent.
Right.
And that's a small apartment or a shared apartment. And so I understand this is it's a better option now than it was before because everyone wants independence.
Right.
But sometimes you just can't afford it.
Exactly. And it's a cultural thing because some people move out of their parents' home maybe for college. It's very common in the U.S. to study in another city or another state, right? And but then maybe coming back home and moving in with your parents. Or in other cultures, maybe they don't move out at all.Maybe they only move out once they're married.
Exactly. So a lot of people in China, I think in Shanghai specifically, don't move out of their parents' home until they're going to get married.
Right. Well, and it does make sense in many big metropolis because, as you say, rent is expensive. Living on your own is expensive. And, well, you don't have anyone to share those costs with, like gas, water, electricity, even food, right? It's cheaper among more people.
And not to mention a little bit scary living on your own for the first time.
It is a little bit scary. What about having somebody move in with you? Maybe a roommate or a girlfriend or boyfriend?
Ooh, that's always the big step.
The big commitment.
The big commitment. You're in a relationship and you ask your partner to move in with you. It's the step before marriage, I guess.
Wow. There's nothing before that? Nothing before marriage?
No.
That's pretty much it.
You tell me. I don't know.
All right. That's all the time we have for today.
And if you have any suggestions for the step before marriage, please let us know because we're in the dark on this one. So until next time.
All right.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Welcome back to my channel. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey. One introduction. It was a busy day at Utah Valley University. Many students and other people came together. They were there for a special event. A speaker was talking to a crowd of about 3,000 people. The atmosphere was lively. Everyone was listening carefully. Suddenly, a very loud noise broke the quiet. It was a sharp sound that stopped the speech. The speaker paused. For a moment, no one understood what had happened. Then the loud noise came again and a third time. It sounded like something bad. Fear quickly filled the air. People started to shout. They pushed and ran, trying to find a safe place. Chairs fell over, bags were left behind. There was much confusion in the large hall. People did not know where to go. Parents held their children close. Friends looked for each other. The happy event turned into a scene of panic. Emergency services quickly arrived. Police cars with flashing lights came to the university. Ambulances were also there. News channels started to report on the event. Pictures and videos from the scene spread fast on the internet. This terrible event quickly caught the attention of the whole country. Many people watched the news. They wanted to know what happened and why. A well-known person was involved. The incident was very shocking. It made people feel worried and sad. Everyone talked about it. The nation waited for more information about the sudden violence at the university. This day became a day that many would remember. 2. The victim. The loud noise had stopped the speech. The person speaking at that moment was named Charlie Kirk. He was a very important person in American political discussions. People knew his name well. Charlie Kirk was famous for his strong conservative views. He was an activist. This means he worked hard to make people think about his political ideas. He often spoke at big events and on television. Many people knew his face and his voice. He was a key figure in the media, always sharing his thoughts on current events. His work mainly focused on conservative politics. He believed in traditional values and smaller government. He was good at talking to young people. He wanted them to be interested in politics and vote. Former President Donald Trump recognized his efforts. Mr. Trump once said that Charlie Kirk helped many young people support his political campaigns. This showed how important Charlie Kirk was in his field. On that day, Charlie Kirk was given a speech at Utah Valley University. It was a very big event. About 3,000 people had come to listen to him speak. He was there to talk about his ideas and connect with the audience. These kinds of public events were a big part of his job. He traveled a lot speaking at universities and other places across the country. He wanted to share his message widely. The shooting was not an accident. It was a targeted attack. This means someone planned to kill Charlie Kirk specifically. The shooter was on a roof high above the crowd. From there, the person fired a shot. The bullet traveled about 150 yards. It hit Charlie Kirk in the neck and he died. This terrible act caused deep shock across the entire country. People were very confused and afraid. A gruesome video of the shooting quickly appeared on social media. It showed the large crowd screaming in fear and trying to run away. This killing of a well-known political person was seen as a very serious event. It added to concerns about political violence. Everyone in the nation wanted to know who had done this and why. The search for the person responsible began immediately. 3. The search begins. After the loud noise at the university, many police cars and officers came very quickly. Agents from the FBI also arrived on the scene to help. They all started a very big search for the person responsible. This search was called a manhunt, and it spread across the whole state of Utah. Thousands of people watched the news hoping for an answer. The event had caused a lot of shock and questions. Many different police groups worked together to find the person. There were more than 20 law enforcement agencies involved in the search efforts. Authorities soon released pictures and videos of a man they believed was the suspect. These images were shown to the public. They asked everyone to look carefully and share any information they had. The videos showed a man wearing a black t-shirt. On the shirt, there was a picture of an eagle and an American flag. He also wore a baseball cap and dark sunglasses. The video showed him jumping from the roof of the university building. After that, he ran into a wooded area nearby. His face was partly hidden by his hat and glasses. Police asked the public to look at these pictures carefully and share any information they had. To encourage people to help, the authorities offered reward. They said they would give $100,000 for important information. This money was for anyone who could help them find the shooter. They needed the public's eyes and ears to solve the case. The search was not easy in the beginning. There was some confusion in the first hours. On the first day, police thought they had found the suspect. They took one person in for questioning, but after talking, they realized it was not the right person, so they let him go. Later that same day, another person was stopped and questioned. Again, it was a mistake. The second person was also released. These false leads made the search harder. The police and the FBI knew they needed the public's help to find the correct person. The massive search continued for more than 30 hours. Many officers worked tirelessly. They conducted almost 200 interviews. They followed more than 7,000 tips from people. The whole state waited for news about the person who had caused the event. 4. A father's fear. The news of the large search for the person who shot Charlie Kirk spread quickly. People all over the country saw the pictures and videos of the suspect. This was a big event, and many people watched the news closely. The police and the FBI had asked for help from everyone. They wanted anyone with information to call them. Far away in southern Utah, a father was watching the news. He saw the images of the suspect on his television screen. He saw the pictures of the man in a black t-shirt. The shirt had an eagle and an American flag on it. He watched the video of the man jumping from the roof of the university building. The man then ran into a wooded area. The suspect's face was partly hidden. He wore dark sunglasses and a baseball cap. The father felt a strange feeling. He looked at the pictures again and again. There was something familiar about the man. His heart started to beat faster. He tried to tell himself it was not true. But the more he looked, the more he felt sure he knew this person. The way the man stood, the way he moved, it was too familiar. A terrible thought came into his mind. Could this be his son? He pushed the thought away, but it came back. He felt cold all over. He thought about his son, Tyler. Tyler was 22 years old. The father tried to think of reasons why it could not be Tyler, but the image on the screen was strong. The clothes, the build, the way the man moved. It was like looking at a picture of his own son. The father felt a deep fear. He did not want to believe it. He hoped he was wrong. But the more he looked, the more the terrible truth seemed clear. This was not just a person who looked like his son. This was his son. He felt a heavy weight in his chest. What should he do? This was a very difficult moment for him. The feeling of dread grew stronger with each passing minute. He felt trapped between his love for his son and the shocking reality of the news report. He knew he had to face the truth, no matter how painful it might be. He knew he had to talk to Tyler. He had to ask. This was one of the hardest things he had ever had to do. He thought about the police, the FBI, the big search. He thought about the news reports. He knew the police were looking for this person very seriously. He took a deep breath. He walked to find his son. His mind was full of worry. He found Tyler. He looked at his son, then at the image on the screen. He had to be brave. He had to ask the question that was burning in his mind. "Tyler, is this you?" the father asked. His voice was quiet. "This looks like you." This question was not easy to ask. It was a question that could change everything. It was a question born from a father's fear and a terrible recognition. The father waited for Tyler's answer. He hoped for a simple no, but deep down, he was afraid of what he would hear. The silence in the room felt very long. His heart was pounding. He looked at Tyler's face, searching for any sign, any hint of the truth. The father's fear was now very real. 5. The confession. The father felt a deep, cold fear. For 2 days, news showed pictures of the person who shot Charlie Kirk. Now, he knew the truth. The man running from the university was his son. Tyler Robinson, 22 years old, was the suspect. With a heavy heart, the father found Tyler. His son was quiet, looking worried. The father held out a newspaper with the suspect's photo. "Tyler, is this you?" he asked, his voice shaking. "This looks like you?" Tyler looked at the picture. He did not speak for a moment. His eyes moved from the paper to his father's face. Then, slowly, he nodded. He looked down. After a quiet moment, he spoke softly. Tyler admitted to his father that he had shot Charlie Kirk. The words hit the father hard. His world seemed to stop. His own son had done this terrible thing. The father felt shock, sadness, and fear. He knew he had to do something. He looked at Tyler. "You must turn yourself in, son," he said. "It's the right thing to do." But Tyler shook his head. His face was pale. He looked scared. "I would rather kill myself than turn myself in," he told his father. His voice was firm. This statement made the father's heart ache. He saw deep despair in his son's eyes. He knew Tyler was in a very dark place. The thought of his son harming himself was unbearable. The family now faced an impossible choice. They had a terrible secret. Their son was the person the whole country searched for. He confessed to a serious crime, but he also threatened to take his own life if he went to the police. The father and other family members sat together. They talked for a long time, late into the night. It was the hardest conversation. Their minds were full of worry. On one side, they loved Tyler. They wanted to protect him and feared for his safety. On the other side, there was a need for justice. A man had died. The law had to be followed. Keeping Tyler's secret felt wrong. They felt confused and scared. The truth was very heavy. They knew the entire nation waited for answers, and their son was those answers. They knew they could not keep the secret forever. They had to act. How could they help Tyler without putting his life in danger? How could they do what was right? These questions filled their minds. Their next steps would change everything for their family forever. The struggle was deep. The path forward was unclear. 6. A call for help. After Tyler's difficult confession, his father felt a heavy burden. Tyler had admitted to the shooting. He had also said he would rather harm himself than surrender to the police. This made the situation very hard for the family. The father knew he had to act, but he wanted to help his son in the best way possible. He thought about what to do for a long time. The father decided to try and persuade Tyler. He suggested that Tyler talk to someone trusted. This person was not the police, but someone who could offer guidance. He thought of a youth pastor. This pastor worked with the Washington County Sheriff's Office. The pastor also worked with the U.S. Marshals Service. The father hoped the pastor could help Tyler understand his actions. He hoped the pastor could help Tyler make the right choice for his future. After much discussion, Tyler finally agreed to speak with the pastor. This was a very small step, but it was an important one towards a resolution. While Tyler was speaking with the pastor, the rest of the family faced another difficult decision. They carried the terrible secret. They knew who the shooter was, but Tyler was still unwilling to surrender. A family friend understood the seriousness of the situation. This friend knew that the authorities needed to know. It was an incredibly hard choice, but the friend made a brave move. The friend picked up the phone. They called the Washington County Sheriff's Office. This office was located far from the shooting scene. It was more than 3 hours away from Orem, Utah, where the event happened. The call was full of worry, but it was made. The sheriff's office listened carefully to the family friend. They understood the great importance of the information. This was not just a random tip. It was about the person everyone in the country was searching for. The Washington County Sheriff's Office acted very quickly. They did not keep the information. They knew other police agencies needed to hear it right away. They immediately passed the crucial tip. They sent it to the authorities in Utah County. This was the area where the shooting took place. Most importantly, they sent the information to the FBI. The FBI was leading the massive search across the nation. This single phone call changed everything. For many hours, the police and the FBI had searched for the suspect. They had received thousands of tips, but none had led to the shooter. The governor had even said they had no idea where the suspect had gone. Everyone was waiting for a major break in the case. This phone call from the family friend was that break. It was the most important piece of information the police had received. It gave the authorities the name of the suspect and a place to start looking. This one tip from someone very close to Tyler became the key. It meant the long nationwide manhunt was finally coming to an end. The search was almost over. 7. The clues connect. The crucial phone call from Tyler's family friend changed everything for the police. This important tip allowed investigators to connect all the different pieces of evidence they had gathered. Before this call, they had many small clues, but they did not all make sense together. Now, with the new information, everything started to fit, and many clues clearly pointed to Tyler Robinson. One very important piece of evidence came from the university's security cameras. These cameras recorded Tyler's actions before the shooting. Less than 4 hours before the big event began, Tyler arrived at Utah Valley University. The video showed him driving a gray Dodge Challenger car. He was wearing a plain maroon shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat, and light-colored shoes. The video footage was very clear, showing his face and what he was wearing. This helped police identify him later. Tyler then went up to the roof of the university building. This was the place from where the shot was fired. After the shooting, he jumped down from the roof, but he left important evidence there. Investigators found palm impressions on the roof. These were marks left by his hands. They also found smudges that could have DNA, which is special information from a person's body. A clear shoe print was also found. These details were very important because they proved Tyler had been on the roof. Police also believed that Tyler had changed his clothes while he was on the roof, perhaps to hide his identity. Later, he changed back into the clothes he wore when he arrived. When Tyler was arrested, his clothing matched the clothes he wore in the surveillance video before the shooting. Also, a relative confirmed that Tyler owned a gray Dodge Challenger, just like the cars seen in the video. Other vital clues came from Tyler's online activity. Investigators looked at messages on a platform called Discord, which is a place where people talk online. In these messages, there were discussions about a rifle. This information was very important because a rifle was the weapon used in the shooting. These online discussions helped connect Tyler to the type of gun used. Additionally, a family dinner conversation provided even more context. Details from this talk gave the police a deeper understanding of Tyler and his plans. This conversation helped to fill in some of the missing parts of the story. All these different clues, when put together with the critical tip from his family, formed a complete picture. The video from the university cameras, the physical evidence from the roof, the online messages about a rifle, and the details from a family dinner all pointed to Tyler Robinson. The strong connection of evidence left no doubt about who the suspect was. The police now knew exactly who they were looking for and why. 8. The end of the search. After a long and hard search, Tyler Robinson was finally found. It was Thursday night around 10 o'clock when police took him. This moment ended a difficult time. The search for Tyler had lasted for more than 30 hours, making many people worried. During this time, many police officers and federal agents worked very hard across the state. They followed every possible clue trying to find the person who did the shooting. The whole community felt very worried and unsure during these hours. The very next morning on Friday, good news came. Governor Spencer Cox held a meeting with reporters. He spoke to everyone with important news. With a clear voice, he announced, "We got him." These 3 words meant that the big search was officially over. People across Utah and even the whole country heard the news. Many felt a great sense of peace knowing that the person was no longer free. The governor's announcement brought calm after much fear. Officials were quick to thank everyone who had helped. They thanked the public for their strong support. People had sent in thousands of tips and pieces of information. The FBI, a federal police group, received over 7,000 tips from citizens. This was a very large number, showing how much people cared. However, one special tip was the most important. This key information came from Tyler's own family. A brave family friend made a difficult phone call to the local police office. This call gave the important details that helped police find Tyler Robinson. The search was very big. Nearly 200 people were asked questions by police. 20 different police groups like local police and federal agents worked together. They searched wide areas looking for any sign of Tyler. A large reward of $100,000 had also been offered for help. But the family's decision to tell the police was the most important moment. It was this action that finally ended the case. Tyler's family faced a very hard choice. They loved Tyler, their son, but they knew what he had done was very wrong. His father, showing great courage, talked to his son. He asked Tyler to speak openly with a trusted youth pastor. This was a big step. Then, a family friend, understanding how serious the situation was, made the brave call to the police. This very difficult choice made by those closest to Tyler helped stop the search quickly. It showed great courage and a wish to do what is right. Their actions helped the police solve the case fast and stop more trouble. Without their brave help, the search might have continued for much longer, causing more worry for everyone. The family's difficult but right actions brought a clear and important end to a very serious event that had shocked the nation.